Here's a story from a distant star about a planet called Zarponia, where the people cried and shook with fear because the land was dry and the end was near. On an urgent mission to put it right, brave young Ziku, day and night, searched through space till in view came a spinning world of green and blue. Welcome to Ziku's Earth Adventure! And this is where it all begins in a world of science and earthling friends.
And for all those movie nuts out there who've been waiting for the latest Earth Wars movie release, that waiting is over. The latest installment, titled The Revenge of the Sunnysiders, has opened across Zarponia in a massive blaze of publicity, and the indications are that it will be an even bigger hit than its predecessor. We interrupt this report for a special transmission from Zarponia. Prime Counselor Zed Zandor calling Pod Controller Ziku. Calling Ziku. Come in, Ziku.
Ziku? Ziku, come in!
Sorry, Counselor. Here I am.
Zowdy, Ziku. What on earth is that?
This is what they call a tent. Bongi and Bali are taking me camping at the Botanical Gardens. Well, if only I could figure this out.
Are you sure you're supposed to wear it like that?
I don't think this is going to help much as a shelter.
I have an idea. Seeing as though you're going camping, perhaps you can use this expedition to gather some information for us.
Zap it to me, Zandor.
Well, Ziku, we need to find out much more about living things on planet Earth. I mean, there's so many different animals and plants, it is really quite confusing. So when you go camping in that place, can you find out the particular animals and plants that live there?
Good, sir. Mission in progress. Over and out.
Over and out?
Cillian, time to activate Zoom. I'm off to go camping with Bongi and Bali. Zoom needs to capture some information about plants and animals at the Botanical Gardens.
Certainly, Pod Controller Ziku.
Zippity zoop zoop.
You need to be ready to gather information, Zoom.
Zoom!
I will certainly not. See if I can access footage to the Revenge of the Sunnysiders while you are out. My circuits are strictly for scientific study, not for your amusement. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. See you soon. Is she gone? Now let's see if Issy Dingo is on yet.
Bongi, did you remember to put the tent in the car?
Yes, I did, Bali.
Good. Bongi, why are you screaming? I told you Ziku was coming.
I know, but she manages to appear so suddenly every time. Are you ready to go, Ziku?
Yes, but I need to gather some information about the place where we're going camping. Are there lots of interesting plants and animals there?
There certainly is. We're going to the Walter Sisulu Botanical Gardens. Can you help me get this together? We need to get going soon. It's quite far. Hang on, she's gone already. Let's go, Bongi.
Hello, Farmer Fanani.
Ziku! How'd you manage to keep sneaking up on me like that? It's nice to see you again. But where's Bongi and Mbali?
They're on their way. Wow, this is a great place. Is this where we're going to be spending the night? It's really beautiful here.
Yes, I'm glad you like it. I try to come here as often as I can. Yes, you see all these wonderful trees that grow along the side of the river. They grow here naturally. And when plants and trees grow naturally in a place like this, we call that indigenous.
Did you what?
Indigenous! Indigenous.
Oh, wow. It's so nice and cool and shady. And there's lots of plants here.
Yes, you see, the trees help provide shade and protection for all the plants, the small grasses and the bushes that grow underneath. And you see over there, all those leaves. They form a sort of carpet that keeps the soil moist. Now remember, plants need water in order to grow. Now the trees, they help prevent the soil from drying out so that all these plants can grow well.
Oh, yes, I remember. Plants need air, water, and light to grow.
That's right, but most of these plants have adapted to living under the trees. But some plants, like creepers, grow to the top of the trees so they can get closer to the light.
What's that funny-looking stuff?
Oh, that's fungus. You see, fungus grows on dead wood in the forest. And the dead wood provides nutrients for the fungus to grow. And this is very useful because it helps to break down the dead wood so it can become part of the soil. And you see over there, those leaves also break down and become part of the soil. And as we said before, plants need light, water, air in order to grow well.
It certainly looks like lots of different plants and trees like to grow here.
Plants are not the only things living here. Take a close look at this leaf.
It's got holes. It looks like something has eaten it up. Perhaps an insect, perhaps?
Yes, I think a caterpillar. There's a special kind of butterfly that lays its eggs on this wild peach tree. When their babies hatch into caterpillars, they only like to eat the leaves of this tree.
If this butterfly lays its egg on another tree, would the caterpillar have nothing to eat? Would it die? What about the tree? Surely it's a problem if all its leaves are eaten up by the caterpillar. Won't it die?
Yes, now that's a very interesting question, Zico. You see, there are, among the birds that live here, there are birds called Diedrich cuckoos that come and feed in the summer, and luckily they think these caterpillars are delicious. So, the caterpillars eat the leaves, and the cuckoos eat the caterpillars, and so everything is kept in balance.
This is wonderful! I really like this place.
Oh yes, you're quite right, Zico. It is wonderful. And if we want to keep it this way, we must not disturb that balance.
What do you mean?
Well, I'll show you. Take a look over there. You see that? What do you notice about that riverbank?
Well, it looks like a lot of water has washed away the soil. The roots of the trees look like they've been exposed.
You're quite right, Zico. You see, what happens is, upriver, there's a lot of development. People take away all the plants, the trees, and the shrubs, and so on, in order to build houses and roads. So when it rains, all the rainwater comes rushing down this river. Now it's flowing gently, and it looks peaceful. But when we have the big storms in summer, then all that heavy rainfall means the water here and the river rushes fast, and it gets bigger, and that's why the roots are exposed. The roots of plants normally prevent the soil from washing away. Now, they also help the ground to be like a sponge and absorb the water. Now, because they've taken away all the natural plants higher up this river, there is much more water flowing down the river after a storm. Now, look how it has washed away the bank of this river. The water is so strong that they are not able to hold the soil in place.
Do you think these trees will die?
Yes, Zico. Without soil, they probably will die. You see, the river and this place around it has already begun to change because of all this development that is taking place.
That's terrible.
Yes, I agree. People should think very carefully about what they do to the natural environment because it can become damaged. People damage it. And once this damage is done, it is very difficult to repair. You see, we do not have many forest habitats like this around here, and it would be very, very sad if it just disappeared.
A what?
A habitat is where different kinds of plants and animals like to live, where they can find food, shelter, protection, and a place to breed. This particular habitat we are now in is a forest habitat. As you can see, there are lots of living things that like to live here. We could also say there is diversity, meaning many different kinds of living things in this one habitat. That is what makes it quite special. Now, there are other kinds of habitats like deserts, mountains, and swamps. Well, Zico, perhaps you would like to take a look at another kind of habitat, one that is different to this forest.
That would be great. I'm going to find out more about plants and animals. Let's go!
Come along, Zico. Let's take a rest here. Oh, by the way, take a look at those trees over there.
It seems like there's not a lot of trees over here. These trees look a lot different from the trees we saw down by the river.
Quite right, Zico. You see, the soil up here is not as rich in nutrients, and also it's further away from the river, so it's much drier up here. Those are called Sacarbos proteas, and they have specially adapted to living in this different kind of place, or, what is the word? Habitat.
Adapted? I remember you using this word before, but what does it mean again?
Adapted, well, that means when plants and animals have to adapt or find ways of surviving in the place that they live. Come along, let me show you. Here we go. Keep up. Notice the leaves, Zico. They are thick and hard and strong. You see, they need to be like this because they have to have protection from the drying out effect of the wind and the hot sun during the day. They are also hard and a little bit waxy so that they don't lose any moisture. And also notice how they don't lie flat. They are vertical. They want to avoid catching too much sun. And the trees and the bushes you saw at the river had softer, finer leaves, you remember. Now those trees would burn up and die up here.
It also has a different kind of a bark. It's rough and hard.
Oh, that was very well spotted, Zico. Clever one. You see, the Sacarbos protea needs to be strong and hard in order to survive the veld fires that happen in this kind of habitat. Now, the trees we saw in the forest habitat, they have a smooth, thin kind of bark.
This is all very interesting.
Interesting? Oh, I've got some more interesting things to show you. Come along. Asam Bandana. Here we are, Zico.
Look at this strange plant over here. It's got fat leaves and it's a bit spiky.
This plant is called an aloe, and it belongs to a family of plants called succulents. You'll notice how thick and fleshy and fat the leaves are. This is because the plant has to store water for itself, and in order to survive in a hot, dry place. And also to prevent itself from being eaten, it has these spikes. That's what some plants have to do in order to survive.
I'm starting to understand why there's so many different plants and animals. They need to be different because there's so many different kinds of places or habitat on Earth where they live.
Yes, now I wonder how our friends are doing. I think we should get back to campsite. You know, speaking for myself, I think I prefer a cooler habitat. People, like all living things, need to find a place to live, where they can get food and water and a place to rest and so on, shelter. So I'm wondering, on that note, if your friends have managed to get some shelter set up for tonight, eh?
Oh yes, I'm going to meet Bongi and Bali at the campsite. Bongi's going to help me wear a tent correctly. Thank you so much for all the information, Farmer Fanani.
Oh, that's all right.
Bali's gonna be nice today.
I know.
Hello, Zico.
Zico,
Hi.
Welcome to our camping site.
I gather Farmer Fanani has been great help.
Oh yes, he's been of great help. I'm quickly going to the pod to report back to Zandor, and then you can help me wear a tent when I get back.
Zico, wear a tent? We don't wear a tent. We erect it, then sleep inside it. Come on, leave it there. I'll do it for you. Come.
Erect it? Oh, now I see what the problem has been. Thanks, Boogie. I think this camping is going to be fun. I think I'll stay a little longer before I go to the pod.
Okay, Zico.
Isn't this fun, Zico?
Oh, yes, I'm really having so much fun. I need to go back to the space pod.
Oh, Zico, don't leave me.
Zoom, back again. Have you been getting all that? Just look at that erosion, Zoom.
Zoom!
Yes, these Earthlings have to be careful about what they do to the habitats of plants and animals. Wait, I hear Ziku approaching.
Greetings! Did you manage to get the footage on Farmer Funani's farm?
Welcome back. Indeed, we did.
Zoom!
No, I was hard at work processing things.
Zoom!
I was not watching Earth television. Oh, that. It was a part of my research.
Zippity zoop.
Ah, yes, look at all these habitats. Here's one called the Fynbos, high up on the mountains of the Western Cape. And here's another called the Karoo, where it is very dry and hot in summer.
This is great! Good work, Zoom.
Xandor calling Ziku. Come in, Ziku.
Zowdy, Ziku. How is the camping expedition going?
I think it's going to be the best fun ever. Bongi and Bolly are putting up the tent for the night, and I have all the information you requested.
Well done. Zapatumi Zillion.
We have found out the following pieces of information. A habitat is a place where plants and animals naturally live. It provides them with all the things they need to survive. There are many different kinds of habitats. Animals and plants have special adaptations which help them to live in their habitats. Plants that grow naturally in a place are called indigenous. Some plants and animals are found only in one special place in the world. When something in a habitat changes, it has an effect on all the other living things there. A person needs to be very careful when they do something that affects a habitat. It can be very difficult to repair damage to a habitat.
Excellent work, Ziku. This sounds very fascinating. I think we need to send you next time to investigate some special habitats more fully. Ziazun, Ziku. Over and out.
Over and out.
Prepare to send information. Data drives engaged. Uploading files. Matrix ZZZZZZ. Completing transmission. Upload successful. Over and out.
Zowie! Mission accomplished. Ziazun, Zillion. Zigazoo, Zoom.
Good night, good Earth. Good luck, brave Zarponia.